Well, hello everybody. How good it is to be with you today. These are strange days. They are the strangest days I think we've ever lived in. And the one thing that has not bothered me at all is the order to stay home. Paige makes sure every day that I'm home. She doesn't want me to be out, nor her daddy, and so she keeps a good watch on us. But I do love being home. I love the peace and quiet of home, and I love walking into my study at night when I'm done in the kitchen, and I just kind of stop and come. And last night I did that, and I sat down at my study, and all of a sudden some thoughts began to flow through my mind, and I stopped to catch them. Thoughts that God gave me that just really encouraged my heart. And I spent a long while and just thinking on them. And and I couldn't wait to share them with you and pray that they will encourage your heart like they have mine. Our mindset is so important during these days. It's so important that you and I stay up and encouraged. And I honestly don't know where to go for encouragement today except to the Word of God. And we'll always find it there. And so I am so grateful for the Word of God, that it is a living Word and that it's powerful. And mixed with the faith He's given us to believe it, it does unleash a remarkable power for living above the circumstances of life and living as overcomers rather than victims, and being able to respond to whatever circumstances come in a way that will honor and please Him. So these are the thoughts that I caught last night, and I pray that they will speak to your heart. Just a freshness, a refreshing, an encouragement that will help you through these days. I wrote, today the whole world is focused on the coronavirus. As we listen to the news every day, we are hearing words that are not in our everyday vocabulary, words like the COVID-19 and the N95 mask and social distancing and pandemic and quarantine and ventilators and all kinds of new words. It's amazing how quickly the things that we had been doing, the things that we had our minds on just a few days ago, are no longer on the front burner, but they have been replaced with our focus on protecting ourselves and others from this contagious disease. And all of that has moved to the front burner. So the world as we knew it just a few weeks ago changed very suddenly and drastically with the invasion of this coronavirus. And it was reminds me of a train engine just coming to a screeching halt. The airports that were once buzzing are quiet. The cruise ships are docked. City streets are without traffic. And all across our country, schools are there with no children and no teachers. Concerts have been canceled. Sports events have been canceled. And the world really doesn't know what to do without the daily diet of fast food, the frenzy of overcrowded schedules, constant activity, just fast-paced living that they're used to. Stillness and silence are scarce commodities in today's society. But God never intended for us to live life wide open with no time for rest and reflection. I love the old preacher Charles Allen from Atlanta. He wrote, he said, if we study the lives of great people, we will find that every one of them drew apart from the hurry of life for rest and reflection. And he observed that great poems are not written on crowded streets. Lovely songs are not written in the midst of clamoring crowds. And our visions of God come when we stop. The psalmist wrote, "Be still and know that I am God." Elijah found God, not in the earthquake or fire, but in a still, small voice. And Moses saw the burning bush out on a hillside. And Saul saw the heavenly vision on that lonely road to Damascus. Jesus took time to be alone and pray. And I think of one occasion that's recorded in Mark 6, when he must have recognized that his disciples needed some rest. And he took them by a boat to a secluded place on the shore of the Sea of Galilee, and he spoke these words to them. He said, "Come ye yourselves apart into a desert place and rest a while." I never read that without thinking about the old preacher Vance Havner and his humorous interpretation of that verse. He says, "Come ye apart and rest a while," or "come ye apart." And I guess my interpretation would be, "Come ye apart before you fall apart." Being still and quiet is a hard thing for us to do. We just seem to do best when we're moving and going and doing, when we're busy. Before sending his disciples out to conquer the world, Jesus told them to wait, to stop and wait on the power of God. And I think how often you and I run on fumes in our spiritual lives because we've not taken the time to stop and refuel. Sometimes living in the fast lane catches up with us, and we become so physically exhausted, so emotionally drained, and so mentally tired and weary that we have to stop because we just can't keep going. Have you ever been there? Today, we're stopped by circumstances. We've been forced to stop. And I think, will we grumble and complain because we can't go about our normal routines? Or will we take advantage of these days to find rest and reenergizing for our bodies and renewal and refreshing for our souls? It's our choice. I hope that you and I will choose wisely the latter, and that we will enjoy the blessings of often being still in God's presence, that we may live out these days rejoicing in his goodness to us, poised to respond in faith to whatever circumstances may come, and living every day in a calm assurance that God is in control. He knows what he's doing. We may not, and we don't have to understand, and knowing that all is well with our souls. From some lines of the poet John Whittier, I pray, I found a prayer. I turned them into a prayer, into this prayer. Lord, take from our souls the strain and stress, and let our ordered lives confess the beauty of your peace. And that is my prayer for all of us today. And I pray that these will be some of the most spiritually refreshing days that you've ever known as you spend time in the quiet of God's presence. God bless you. I love you. And here is my big hug to everybody. Hope to see you again soon.